All right. So now, now we move on to if conditions. If state. Okay. So how do these if statements work? So the way these if statements work is the following. So as I mentioned to you guys, we cover the comparison operators. So let's say, like I said, we have if condition perform code. So what does this mean? So let's say we have x equals to 5. Okay. I want to perform some code. If I say if x equals 5, print x is equal. So what does this mean? This means that if this is basically saying that you are going to perform the code that is within this block. If x equals to 5, then perform this down here. Straightforward. Yes? And then I say print x is still 5. I say print x is still 5. Print still 5. And then I say x equals 1 second, sorry. Then I say if x equals to 6, print, I say x 6. And then after that, I print done. Okay, this is a little bit more of a complex example, but it will kind of get all the points across to you, hopefully. So, why did I want to do all this? So first things first, we go from top to bottom. So the first thing is it checks, is x equal to 5? Yes, in this case, it is indeed equal to 5, right? So x equal to 5. So this statement is true. Now, a couple of things you need to remember about if statements. Number one, most important thing, all of the code that is to be executed upon the condition being true must be indented. So let's look at this example. So let's take this and look here. So if you notice here, you notice this line, and this line are all indented. Yes? So that means that the only way that these 3 lines will be executed, these 3 lines will now only be executed, will only be executed if the condition above it is true. Meaning that if x is equal to 5, then all these 3 will be executed. But you'll notice here, this line right here, this line is not indented from the above, from, I'm going to put number 1 here so you know what I'm talking about, from 1. So it is outside of the block for 1. Okay? So that is very, very important. So from now on, so in this case, you see that because these 3, if again, as I taught you guys, do the vertical line test, just put a vertical line down the middle, down there. You'll notice that this is indented, this is indented, this is indented. But if you take that vertical line and keep on going down, this is not indented. This is not indented. This is not indented. So you'll notice that, so now that this is not indented, the first line that you find that is not indented, you know everything above that is part of the block for this if statement. Okay? So from now on, look at programming as a set of blocks. This will be very, very important, especially later on, once we get into a little more advanced topics as a set of blocks. Okay? So now, in this case, since I'm saying, so again, if you take this code right here, if x equals to 5, I don't know if I could copy paste this again, but this is already messy. Print, 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 okay, print, I'm just going to put ... everywhere. This is if x equals 6, print, and then print, okay. So now you will see here what? You will see here, so now we need to look at things as blocks, like I said, and then we put x equals 5 obviously at the top here. As soon as you see an if statement, an if statement, for loop, which we'll discuss later, while loop, etc., you have a new block is being created. Okay, so in this case, so there's no if statement here, so no block. Oh, you see if here, that means a block is not going to be created. How do you determine that block? Again, vertical line test. This is indented, this is indented, this is indented. This is the first line that is not indented, this one right here. So now you know that this is all one big block. It's all one big block. Go down. This line starts with the word print, so you know that's not a block. Oh, another if statement. So that means there's another block being created. Vertical line test. You see that, oh, this actually has an indent. Come down here. Does this have an indent? Is this indented? No. So now you know this is another block. So there are two blocks. There are thus two blocks in this code. Make sense? Straightforward so far. And how do these blocks work? In order to enter these blocks, the condition at the beginning must be true. So again, looking at this example, x equals 5, the condition here to enter this block is that is x equal to 5? It is. In this case, x is 5, so you enter into it. But now you come here in this block, x equals to 6. In order to enter the block, x, you're asking, is x equal to 6? If it is, enter into this block. If it's not, skip over it. In this case, x is equal to 5. So x is actually not equal to 6. So in this case, you actually are going to skip this entire block and go to the first line that is outside of the block. Does that make sense? So that has to do with if statements. Now, it is possible you may have if statements inside of if statements. This is referred to as nested if statements. Okay, so so the way that this works is you can have, for example, x equals to, let's just say 40. Okay, so you say if x is greater than 1, if x is, if x is greater than 1, okay, print x greater than 1. If x greater than, if x is, let's just say, greater than 20, print x greater than 20. If x less than 100, print all right, so let's take this example. So again, and then print at the bottom. Done. Okay, so now let's go through this code line by line. So x equals 40, if x is greater than 1, do this. Okay. So again, in order to break this up into blocks, vertical line test. Is this indented? Yes. Is this indented? Yes. Is this indented? Yes. Even though it's indented more than once, it's still indented. Is this indented? Yes. Is this indented? Definitely yes. This one is not indented. So you know that we have one big block all the way here. It's all one big block. Now go inside of the block. Print. We don't care about it. The only time that we care about blocks is when there's an if, the word if there's the word for, the word while. This is all you'll need to know for this class at least. So if x is greater than 20. Okay. So now you see the word if. So now there's potentially going to be another block. Again, vertical line test. Vertical line down here. Is this line indented? Yes. Is this line indented? Yes. Is this line indented? Yes. And then afterwards, this line, the next line is this one. This is actually not indented at all. This is actually de-indented. So all of this is going to be one big block. So then you have block number 1, you have block number 2. Go into this one, you see print. We don't care about the word print. Oh, we see it if. That means now there's there's another block. Vertical line test. You see right here, is this line indented? Yes. The next line is this one, right here, at the bottom. This one at the bottom right here. Is this indented? No, it's not. And so, we know that we have one more block right here. This is block number 3. So you see that this code actually has 2 blocks of code that are inside of... So there's block number 1. Within block number 1, there's block number 2. Within block number 2, there's block number 3. So you can have this in computer science. We have ifs inside of ifs inside of ifs. Although this is not recommended, it is definitely a possibility. So, now that we've covered if statements, this is now sometimes, actually most of the time, you want to perform one piece of code if a certain condition is met. And then you want to perform something else. Something else if that condition isn't met, is not met. For this, we use else along with if. So, what does that mean? So let's say, for example, we have if we have, let's say, x. Actually, sorry, before we do that, going back up to this example. So x is equal to 40. So this condition, is this true or false? This is true because 40 is greater than 1. So we enter into here. Print x is greater than 1. If x is greater than 20, let's find the value of x. The value of x is 40. Is 40 indeed greater than 20? Yes. So now is x greater than 20? Yes. So now we're entering into this block. Then print x is greater than 20. Okay, now right here, if x is less than 100, again, we're going to find the value of x. It is 40, as we mentioned up here. So now, is 40 indeed less than 100? Yes, it is. So now we're going to enter into this block. So print x less than 100. Now, if x in this case was, let's just say we set it to 200, same thing, go one by one. If x is less than 1, we'll go to right here. If x is less than 1, 200, is 200 greater than 1? Yes. So now we are entering into this block. Okay, right here. Then now we see if x is greater than 20, is 200 greater than 20? Yes. So now we're entering again. So we keep on going. Then we see another if. If x is less than 100, so we find the value of x, it is 200. Is 200 less than 100? No, it is not. So we are going to skip whatever is in this block and we are going to go to the next line of code, which is the print done over here. Okay, now coming back to this. Let's say x equals to 5. We say if x equals 5, print x is 5. Else, now this is where we're going to come into print x is not 5. So what is this saying? This is saying that if x is equal to 5, do this. If it is not, if this statement is false, if this condition is false, then you are going to skip this and jump into here. So in this case, we set x equals to 5. So is x equal to 5? Yes, it is. So it'll jump into this block. Only one of these two will be true, can be true. Meaning that only one of them will be executed. Okay? Okay, so if x equals to 5, is x equal to 5? Indeed, yes it is. So in that case, it'll execute this line right here, and then it will skip, let me just erase this real quick. Since x in this case is equal to 5, it'll go into this, again, vertical line test. We see that vertical line test, we see that this is the block for if, and then we see else, this is the block for else. Then let's say at the bottom we put print done. Okay, so in this case, is x equal to 5? Indeed it is, so it'll jump into here. It will skip this else, and it'll go all the way to the bottom here. However, if I set x to 6, in this case, x equals 5, is this true or false? It'll be false. So in this case, actually, it'll skip to down here. It'll skip this entire block. And it'll jump straight to the else, and it'll execute whatever is inside of here. So that is a brief introduction to if statements, elif. In the next video, if and else. Now we're going to go into elif, inshallah ta'ala.